Welcome from all of us at He is Risen Ministries. Your support by subscribing and giving a thumbs up helps us keep creating videos that inspire and equip those seeking a deeper walk with the Lord. Today I want to talk with you about something that most of us don't enjoy, but all of us need: pruning. If you've ever trimmed a tree, cut back a rose bush, or even watched someone do it, you know how severe it can look. Branches fall to the ground. Healthy-looking growth gets clipped away. At first glance, it can feel destructive, but pruning is not destruction. It is preparation. It is purposeful cutting for future growth, and the Lord uses that same principle in our lives. In John 15:2, Jesus said that every branch in him that bears fruit, the Father prunes, so that it may bear more fruit. Notice something important. He doesn't prune dead branches. He prunes living ones. He prunes fruitful ones. That means pruning is not punishment, it's refinement, it's not rejection, it's attention. If you've ever felt like the Lord was cutting something back in your life, a habit, a relationship, a comfort, an opportunity, it may not be because he is displeased with you. It may be because he sees what you could become. Pruning always has tomorrow in mind. James 1:2-4 says, "Count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And let perseverance have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." Now that's hard to hear. Count it joy when life feels like it's cutting pieces off of you. But James is not talking about enjoying pain. He's talking about trusting purpose. Trials test our faith. Testing produces endurance. Endurance shapes maturity. And maturity makes us complete. That's pruning language. Think about a fruit tree in your backyard. If you never prune it, it grows wild. Branches tangle. Sunlight can't reach the inner limbs. Fruit gets smaller. Eventually the tree exhausts itself, but when you cut it back, you concentrate the life of the tree. Energy flows where it should. The next season brings stronger growth and better fruit. God does that with us. Sometimes he trims distractions. Sometimes he trims pride. Sometimes he trims self-reliance. Sometimes he trims relationships that are pulling us away from him. And often he trims comfort. Luke 14:33 says, "So therefore, any one of you who does not renounce all that he has cannot be my disciple." That word renounce means to bid farewell, to say goodbye, to release ownership. When I came to Christ and understood that verse, it hit me deeply. Renouncing wasn't just about possessions, it was about identity. It meant I was to bid farewell to Ron Walser as the final authority of my life, bid farewell to the old ambitions that were rooted in self-promotion, bid farewell to the pride that wanted recognition, bid farewell to the version of me that was comfortable being in control. I was to strive to become an image bearer for Christ. That is pruning at the deepest level, because sometimes what God cuts back is not something around us, it's something within us. Paul gives a sobering reminder in Romans 11:20-21. He warns believers to be careful because the original branches were broken off due to unbelief and we stand only by faith. He says not to become proud but to fear. That's pruning language too. It's a reminder that humility protects us. Pride thickens branches that should be trimmed. Faith keeps us connected to the root. God is not casual about growth. He is intentional. Look at the life of Job. He lost possessions. He lost health. He lost security. From the outside, it looked like devastation. But through it, Job came to know God more deeply than ever before. He said, "I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you." Pruning deepened his understanding. It stripped away shallow faith. It refined him. Think about modern life. Sometimes pruning looks like losing a job you thought defined you, or walking through a health scare that forces you to slow down, or a financial setback that humbles your sense of control, or even a friendship that fades because you've chosen a different path. Those moments hurt, but often they remove the excess that was crowding out deeper growth. We live in a culture that celebrates accumulation, more success, more visibility, more applause, more comfort. But God is often subtracting because fruit grows best on pruned branches. Have you ever noticed how a smartphone slows down when too many apps are open? Battery drains faster, performance drops, it overheats, you have to close background processes, clear storage, update software. Pruning is like that. God closes background processes in our hearts. He clears spiritual clutter. He updates our thinking. It doesn't always feel pleasant, but it keeps us from spiritual burnout. James says perseverance must finish its work. That means pruning is not rushed. It takes seasons. There are winter seasons in our spiritual lives, quiet seasons, hidden seasons, times when it feels like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, roots are strengthening. You can't see roots grow, but without them, fruit collapses. Sometimes God grows us underground before he grows us outward, and that requires cutting back visible growth. Luke 14:33 reminds us again, renounce, bid farewell. Pruning is not just what God does to us, it's also what we willingly release. We let go of grudges, we let go of unhealthy habits, we let go of ego, we let go of the need to win every argument, we let go of comparison. Comparison is a branch that steals nutrients, it diverts energy away from fruit. When you constantly measure yourself against someone else, you're not focused on your own growth, you're distracted. God may prune your comparison by allowing you to feel unseen. He may prune your pride by letting someone else receive recognition. He may prune your impatience by making you wait longer than you expected. Waiting is pruning. It cuts urgency. It trims entitlement. It develops trust. And Paul's warning about the original branches reminds us not to assume we are beyond pruning. Spiritual arrogance is dangerous. We never outgrow dependence on grace. Pruning keeps us aware of that. It keeps us soft, teachable, humble. When I understood that renouncing meant bidding farewell to the old Ron Walser, I realized something. You cannot hold on to the old self and fully embrace the new life at the same time. You can't cling to ego and follow Christ closely. You can't grip pride and grow humility. Something has to be cut. And here's the comforting part. The gardener knows exactly what he's doing. He never overcuts. He never trims randomly. He sees the full design. We see one season. He sees the lifetime. And beyond that, eternity. Think of a sculptor. They chip away marble to reveal the form inside. To someone watching, it looks like destruction. But the artist sees the finished figure long before anyone else. God sees Christ formed in you. That's the goal, to become image bearers. Pruning shapes that image. James says, let perseverance finish its work. That requires trust. You don't interrupt a surgeon mid-operation. You don't tell the architect to stop halfway through construction. You let the process complete. And sometimes that means sitting in discomfort longer than you prefer. But discomfort is not abandonment. It is often attention. Real-life pruning might mean forgiving someone who never apologized. That cuts pride. It might mean giving generously when you feel tight financially. That cuts fear. It might mean admitting you were wrong. That cuts ego. It might mean stepping back from something you love because it's crowding out your time with the Lord. That cuts attachment. Every cut redirects growth, and fruit is the evidence. Patience, kindness, self-control, gentleness, faithfulness. Those qualities rarely grow in ease. They grow in tension. They grow when something has been trimmed. Paul's caution about the branches reminds us to remain grounded in faith. We are supported by the root, not the other way around. When pruning comes, cling to the root. Cling to Christ. Don't assume hardship means rejection. Sometimes it means refinement. Sometimes the very area that feels most painful is the area God intends to make most fruitful. If you've ever worked out at a gym, you know muscles grow by small tears. Resistance creates strength. Without resistance, there is no growth. Pruning introduces resistance. It forces reliance. It deepens faith. And over time, you look back and see how necessary it was. You may even thank God for cuts you once questioned, because they saved you from growing in the wrong direction. They prevented spiritual overgrowth that would have collapsed later. They kept you connected. They refined your motives. They clarified your purpose. If you are in a pruning season right now, don't panic. Don't assume something is wrong. Ask instead, what might God be shaping? What is he redirecting? What is he refining? And remember Luke 14:33, renounce, bid farewell, daily. Sometimes pruning is daily surrender. You wake up and release control again. You surrender reputation again. You let go of resentment again. You choose humility again. This is not a one-time cut. It's an ongoing shaping. And here is the beauty, The gardener never wastes a cut. Every trimmed branch serves a greater design. Every surrendered ambition becomes fertile soil for something better. Every humbled moment protects your heart. James says that through perseverance you become complete, lacking in nothing. That completeness doesn't mean perfection in behavior. It means maturity in faith, steady, rooted, less reactive, more trusting. That's fruit. So when God prunes, He is not reducing you. He is refining you. He is not shrinking your life. He is strengthening it. He is not silencing your value. He is shaping your voice. And one day you will look back at the trimmed seasons and see that they produced your strongest growth. If this message resonates with you, pause today and reflect. Where might God be pruning? Is there something you need to willingly renounce? Is there a farewell you need to say? Is there pride that needs trimming? Fear that needs cutting? Control that needs releasing? Lean into it. Trust the gardener. Stay connected to the root. Let perseverance finish its work. And remember, fruit grows slowly, but it grows surely when the branch remains in Him. Got a question you'd like us to explore in a future video? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. For now, rest in the knowledge that the one who loved you first has already prepared a place for you in His eternal family, and may His voice ring clearly and powerfully this very day.